Hello. After a brief hiatus to get some things more in order with the crossover, we are back and going stronger than ever. You'll continue to receive a more regular newsletter, but also note that many of the stories explored here will be featured in breakout pieces on the crossover website to make this an easier reading experience and reduce the size of these emails. Please note that these content packed newsletters often clip at the end and require you to load the entire message. So if you see the message clipped view entire message at the bottom of your email, be sure to click on it so you don't miss anything. As always, feel free to respond with any thoughts, comments, and critiques. Your words can be featured in a future newsletter. Also, later this month, I'll join Infinitize's Ask an Insider series for my first ever Discord interview chat. This amazing IMO Discord offers networking, job listings for those looking to get into fandom spaces, and much more. Join the Discord here and peep past Q&As with friends and other professionals. Cover story new music. Friday, BLACKPINK's single Twice and ATEEZ album's a major release day for K-pop crossover acts, but will a surprise Justin Bieber album mess with the moment? BLACKPINK Jump new single. After months of speculation and silence, BLACKPINK made their long-awaited comeback with the new single, Jump. Originally revealed live at the group's Deadline World Tour kickoff in Seoul almost a week before its official release, Jump has BLACKPINK's signature mix of ferocious femininity, this time incorporating a hardstyle breakdown beat that elevates and modernizes the song as a standout in their discography. Jump was co-produced by Diplo, who Jennie enlisted for her solo single, Like Jennie, that became a chart and radio hit, alongside 24, who worked with BLACKPINK early into their career and has credits on some of their biggest tracks like How You Like That and Pink Venom, and is also riding high with several tracks on the Kpop Demon Hunters soundtrack, along with Diplo collaborators and producer Boaz Van de Beats, Nicki Minaj, David Guetta, Major Lazer, and remixer producer Ape Drums, as well as Argentina's Zeka, the Latin Grammy-winning producer who's done tracks with Tini, Tiago PZK, Anita, Quevedo, Nathy Peluso, and more. BLACKPINK's longtime producer Teddy is listed as a songwriter and composer. The Dave Meyers-directed video is satisfying enough, but no choreography from the girls, which is somewhat unique for a BP up-tempo MV. It reminds me a bit of Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls, with the slightly apocalyptic, celebrity-obsessed masses hardstyle headbanging to their beat. Jump reportedly broke this year's record for biggest music video debut on YouTube in 2025 with 6 million views within just 11 hours after its release. We'll wait for YouTube's official numbers, but all signs point to big streaming numbers so far. Twice, This Is For, new album, This Is For, new single. Ahead of Twice's 10th anniversary this year, the 9-member girl group delivered their 4th full-length album, This Is For, with a stadium tour, one #1 album on the Billboard 200 and 2 Billboard Hot 100 entries so far. The group has had legitimate crossover success, slightly more quietly than other K-pop acts I'd argue, with new single This Is For marking the second consecutive English single after last year's Strategy, featuring Megan Thee Stallion. This Is For confirms Twice's global focus with a hype-up-your-girl power anthem and chanty chorus that fit nicely alongside current releases like Rosé and Bruno Mars' APT, Zara Larsson's Pretty Ugly, and Cat's Eyes' Gnarly. The video is more traditional K-pop with matching outfits and tight choreography, but throws a curveball when the girls start falling and making mistakes to give a nice dose of relatability. This Is For has an impressive range of international pop contributors on here. There's Taylor Parks, who wrote the album's title track, British pop royalty in Little Mix star Perry Edwards, singer-songwriter Camille, and producer-singer Burns, all part of the track Mars, UK producer Neck and rapper Baby Tate, who both composed Da 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 Ooh, hit producer and songwriter Dujor Dem Joints and Amy Allen, Baditude and Let Love Go, respectively, and more. Twice's A&R did their thing for sure. Twice finally scored a #1 album on the Billboard 200 thanks to February 2024's With Youth follow-up EP, Strategy from December, peaked at #4 in America, in large part due to a more competitive holiday season, with this full-length project and globally focused tracks pointing to Twice hungry to top the chart once again. If they're looking for an strategy, before This Is 4 dropped, Twice made the unprecedented move of revealing a completely new solo song from each member that was only released via official lyric video. If I was running their campaign, I would suggest releasing a deluxe version of This Is 4 with those 9 songs alongside the already hefty original 14 tracks, and maybe some remixes for This Is 4, which could give a major boost to their streaming numbers. Twice is also being helped out with their participation on the Kpop Demon Hunters soundtrack earning Strategy and their song Take Down Sizable Streams. With a good plan, Twice could be the ones to pull off a major hat trick this week. ATEEZ Golden Hour Part 3. In Your Fantasy Edition, new album. In Your Fantasy, new single. Another contender for the week's best-selling album is ATEEZ's with the new deluxe version of last month's Golden Hour, Part 3, with the In Your Fantasy edition, not only including the new English single of the same name, but 8 solo new tracks recorded by each of ATEEZ's 8 members. Though not as strong as their crossover-ready hit Lemon Drop, which debuted at number 69 on the Billboard Hot 100 for the group's first ever entry, In Your Fantasy is nice and catchy. ATEEZ made somewhat of a crossover attempt with the icy English track Take Me Home on 2021's Zero Fever Part 2, which felt like an homage to The Weeknd. New single In Your Fantasy has some Weeknd vibes, but boasts far more of ATEEZ's identity with the intensely gritty production. ATEEZ has 2 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 with 2023's The World EP, Finn, Will, and 2024's Golden Hour, Part 2. The guys are also looking to score another Hot 100 hit by selling physical singles of In Your Fantasy for purchase alongside their distributor Hello 82. The group kicked off the US leg of their In Your Fantasy World Tour last night in Atlanta, so their visibility in the States will be high, although they'll likely be busy touring and resting instead of hitting the promo grind super hard. The Hot 100 may be more of a focus this time, but the large amount of tracks and ongoing tour could pull them ahead. In other news, all 8 members of ATEEZ have renewed their contracts with KQ Entertainment for another 7 years, the agency announced Thursday, July 10th. In a press release, KQ said it was pleased to continue this partnership based on the trust built over the past 7 years, and added that it plans to fully support each member in showcasing their limitless potential and expanding onto even greater stages. On the Korea Times, but the Biebs, Twice, and ATEEZ will face major competition on the albums chart from Justin Bieber, surprise dropping his 21-track Swag album, which could do huge numbers on streaming and could get tracks added to it throughout the week if I remember correctly, with him dropping multiple versions and new tracks when Justice dropped in 2021. They'll also contend with Morgan Wallen's continuously mega-selling 37-track I'm the Problem album, which has 7 weeks at #1 and sold over 100,000 last week, and increasing streams for the Kpop Demon Hunters soundtrack, which ironically includes 2 songs by Twice. BLACKPINK will also likely face an uphill battle on the Hot 100 if Bieber's 21 songs all swarm the chart. To date, BP has peaked at number 13 with Selena Gomez collab Ice Cream. I could see the hype for Jump delivering them to new streaming heights, but they'd need to pull far ahead of any other new releases competing for attention. It's going to be a big chart battle, and any K-pop wins should become playbooks for future successes. Take advantage of lower subscriber deals now. In the news, South Korea refers HYBE chairman Bang Si-hyuk to prosecutors over IPO allegations. The Capital Market Investigation Deliberation Committee held a meeting on Monday, July 7th, and concluded that Bang Si-hyuk and several others should face criminal charges. The recommendation has been passed to the Financial Services Commission, Securities and Futures Commission, and is scheduled for review at its upcoming meeting on July 16th. At the center of the case is a controversial series of private equity transactions made in 2019, just before HYBE began its IPO process. Bang is accused of falsely assuring early investors that the company had no plans to go public, persuading them to sell their shares to a private equity fund allegedly controlled by one of his associates. In reality, HYBE had already initiated the IPO process, including selecting a designated auditor, an early and mandatory step in a Korean public offering. Despite this, investors sold their shares based on Bang's assurances. HYBE later debuted on the Korea Exchange in October 2020, with its IPO priced at 35,000 won per share, approximately $115 at the time. The stock price surged to as high as 42,000 won shortly after listing. Authorities allege that Bang ultimately gained about 400 billion won, approximately 291 million, through the undisclosed deal, reportedly receiving a 30% stake in the profits from the private fund. Billboard. In related news, the Korea Herald expanded on how K-pop leaders face reckoning amid global window of opportunity, citing Bang's IPO probe, customs charges for YG Entertainment founder and executive producer Yang Hyun-suk, and how SM Entertainment co-CEO Tak Young-jun and Chief A&R Officer Lee Sung-soo have been sued for fraud under the Act on the Aggravated Punishment of Specific Economic Crimes by three members of EXO, Chen, Baekhyun, and Schumann, also known as CBX. Former NCT member Moon Tail sentenced to 5 years for rape. Prosecutors had sought a 7-year jail term. They said it appeared that the suspects had deliberately moved the victim to another location so it would be hard for her to recall details of the attack. Moon Tail, a former member of NCT, a popular boy band, appeared in Seoul Central District Court on Thursday wearing a black t-shirt and slacks. His eyes were downcast as Judge Lee Hyun-kyung read aloud his sentence. All three defendants were taken into custody immediately after the sentencing. They also will need to complete 40 hours of a program for sexual violence. New York Times. Twice's release day promo for This Is 4 was somewhat quieter than usual, but the crossover friend Laura Siracool had the group reflects on 10 years with their new album and era at Forbes. While K-pop acts tend to never mention other Korean groups, lots of times it feels forbidden by their agencies, Twice's Tzuyu gave a shout out to BTS. There are so many K-pop artists who worked so hard so that K-pop can take the center stage. Many artists worked hard to contribute, and BTS played a big role in that. Laura also got some tea on the upcoming solo album from member Chaeyeon coming at the end of 2025, directly from the source. It's going to be an album that captures my tastes, thoughts, attitude, and personality. It's my first solo album, and I've been looking forward to it just as much as the fans have. I'm most excited to finally share it, and I'm really curious to see how people will react, and reactions to their inclusion in Kpop Demon Hunters. We are very honored and proud of ourselves to be part of it. Our existence itself has a huge presence in the K-pop industry, and we are very grateful and proud to be part of the film, Jihyo said. Good read over at Forbes. I appeared on Arirang News, the culture wave, to talk about how Teddy's new chart-topping co-ed group, All Day Project, is leading a potential new wave of mixed-gender K-pop acts. We talk All Day Project, Card, as well as other global co-ed successes like S Club 7, RBD, and ATEEZ. Fun topic, read the crossover. Online from our affiliates, the daily newsletter for intellectually curious readers. Join over 4 million Americans who start their day with 14 of 40, your daily digest for unbiased, fact-centric news. From politics to sports, we cover it all by analyzing over 100 sources. Our concise 5-minute read lands in your inbox each morning at no cost. Experience news without the noise. Let 1440 help you make up your own mind. Sign up now and invite your friends and family to be part of the informed. Join for free today. Live news, K-pop stars, tomorrow, X Together, set to hit US stages with Act Tomorrow World Tour. Tomorrow X Together is bringing their fourth world tour to American shores, with the K-pop sensation announcing 9 US dates spanning 7 cities for Tomorrow X Together World Tour Act Tomorrow. The tour will make stops in Los Angeles, Dallas, Rosemont, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Newark, with multiple nights scheduled in both the Chicago suburb and New Jersey. A highlight of the tour will be the group's return to Los Angeles BMO Stadium on September 12, where they previously sold out consecutive nights in 2023. Variety. Boy band EVNNE adds US European concert dates to Set and Go World Tour. The band will perform in 13 cities across the two regions, beginning with San Francisco on Oct. 1 and continuing in Los Angeles, Phoenix, Houston, Fort Worth, Atlanta, Chicago, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Jersey City, Warsaw, London, and lastly, Paris on October 30, Korea, Juang Daily, Wonho to embark on European tour across 10 cities and 8 countries. This September, Wonho will kick off his European tour on September 7 in Paris, France, followed by Madrid, Spain on the 9th, London, UK on the 11th, Brussels, Belgium on the 15th, Tilburg, Netherlands on the 17th, Cologne, Germany on the 19th, Warsaw, Poland on the 21st, Berlin, Germany on the 23rd, Hamburg, Germany on the 25th, and wrap up in Helsinki, Finland on the 27th. Before heading to Europe, Wonho will begin a South American tour starting on July 12th in Santiago, Chile, followed by stops in São Paulo, Brazil on the 15th, Monterrey, Mexico on the 18th, and Mexico City on the 20th. Star News, Business Insights, Blackpink's Jump, single released through new distribution partnership with The Orchard. On Friday, K-pop girl group Blackpink released its latest single, Jump, via longtime label YG Entertainment, but the distribution partner has changed. Since 2018, Blackpink's distribution has been handled by Interscope Records, but the pre-save page for Jump reveals that the group is now aligned with The Orchard. While The Orchard declined Billboard's request for comment on the deal, a company spokesperson confirmed that The Orchard does have a new distribution partnership with the K-pop group. Billboard. I also noticed that Blackpink is still listed on Interscope's artist roster page, but their artist page has not been updated with anything regarding Jump or releases beyond 2022's Born Pink album. Notably, the 3 artists under the Black label, the agency founded by Blackpink producer Teddy that houses Rosé, that were signed with Interscope Records, Big Bang's Taeyang, John Somi, and Brian Chase, are all not listed on the artist roster. Universal Music and TBL did not respond to my request for comment by press time. Distribution isn't the only operational change for Blackpink either. The group is now being repped for PR by Full Coverage Communications. The publicity giant supported the release of Jump with a midnight press release and has been pushing the group's press looks on its Instagram. Interestingly, it's Fulkov's first new K-pop client in a moment, as the company has been the longtime reps for BTS and eventually added their big hit music label mates Tomorrow X Together. While the members of BTS and BP have long proven their friendship, the ongoing wars between the two leading groups' fan armies may be forced to finally find peace, or maybe they'll just find more to complain about. Big congratulations are due to HYBE's head of global communications, Rachel who made a rare LinkedIn post to celebrate several of the company's artists being invited to the Recording Academy's class of 2025. Who has been with HYBE since 2021 after stints at Samsung and Edelman PR, shares how this moment stemmed from the very strategic initiatives championed by her team in global communications from day one. While some K-pop fans have called out that the only Korean artists invited to this year's voting class were from HYBE, it's clear that the company prioritized making these connections to make sure that they could include additional artists from their roster beyond BTS, who have been members since 2019. Expect other K-pop labels to take notes. BTS is back, Blackpink's on tour. Here's what it means for high-flying K-pop stocks. South Korea's big four K-pop agencies, HYBE, SM, YG, and JYP Entertainment, are all listed, and most of them have seen massive gains in share prices this year as big names return and investors foresee a better year for the sector. Prospects and outlook. Goldman Sachs said in a note last month that investors should look for mega IPs in K-pop, groups that can attract an audience of over 1.5 million per tour. That level reflects that a band has been able to break past K-pop's traditional target markets into the Western music scene, the firm said. Currently, only 4 groups meet this criterion. The common denominator of the 4 K-pop mega IPs is that they are also the only K-pop bands capable of a full stadium tour in the US, Goldman said, adding that other newer groups have not seen such success. CNBC, here's how Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley feel about each company. HYBE, Goldman's top pick as its boy groups ENHYPEN and 17 are on the verge of commencing full stadium tours in the US and becoming mega IPs. 2. SM Entertainment. While Morgan Stanley said the company was its top pick due to its well-diversified portfolio of artists, Goldman pointed out that SM lacked a track record of producing mega IPs, with none of its groups having reached that status. 3. YG Entertainment. Both firms are pessimistic on YG, despite the fact that the agency is home to the popular BLACKPINK. We believe expectations for BLACKPINK has been over-reflected in share price. High reliance on single IP and shallow slate of performers remain a concern, Morgan Stanley said. YG currently has just 3 active groups: BLACKPINK, boy group Treasure, which debuted in 2022, and rookie girl group Baby Monster, which entered the industry in 2024. The company also has Winner and AKMU, although neither are going to be stadium fillers in the US at the moment, so maybe it's a moot point. JYP Entertainment. While JYP has 2 of the 4 so-called mega IPs, Goldman notes that it sees short-term earnings turbulence due to its reliance on just a few mature artists and contract renewal of Stray Kids, which will limit margin expansion in the short term. When artists renew their contracts, they typically take a higher share of the revenue split, according to Jiwoo Oh, a research analyst at investment firm CGS International Securities Korea. K-pop artists sign an initial standard 7-year contract with their agencies, which means that Stray Kids, having debuted in 2018, should be reaching the end of their contracts this year. Morgan Stanley, in a June 26 note, said that the absence of new performers in JYP continues to be a weak point. We believe the stock needs to see more artists contributing to top-line growth and new teams emerge to support longer-term growth. According to the CNBC article, there are only 4 mega IPs of artists who can hold stadium tours in the US, which must be BTS, Twice, BLACKPINK, and Stray Kids. But ATEEZ, from the unlisted KQ Entertainment, really shouldn't count it out. The group has 5 stadium dates on the US leg of their In Your Fantasy World tour alongside arena shows. Somewhat related news. I didn't expect to hear Daddy Yankee's comeback single would be released through HYBE Latin America. Yankee's return is the first major artist partnership deal under HYBE Latin America, which has been rapidly expanding. On July 9th, HYBE Latin America unveiled their new Latin-focused competition series, Santos Bravos, which aims to create an all-male band through intensive training. Variety, Bits, and Bops. Golden singer JVKE released a new single, Butterflies, featuring Taehyun of Tomorrow X Together and Kim Chaewon of LE Seraphim. 17's youngest member, Dino, recorded Till My Fingers Bleed as the anthem for the 2025 Esports World Cup, with rapper Duckworth and Telly of metalcore band The Word Alive. The trio performed the song at the A&B Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for the EWC 2025 opening ceremony. Dino met his music collaborators as well, the additional EWC 2025 opening ceremony performers, Post Malone. Dino, Posty, and Comer were also joined by Alesso and violinist Tina Guo for the event that is the world's largest esports competition, attracting over 2.6 million visitors and more than 500 million online viewers last year. SBS Star. More than 40 different Korean stars have done covers or modern challenges of songs from Kpop Demon Hunters, including Soulja Boy's actual vocalist Kevin Wu, as well as members of Monsta X, Wonho, Twice, ITZY, ENHYPEN, IVE, NMIXX, Plave, Zero Bassione, and more. Tomorrow X. Together bundled zucchinis with concert tickets as part of a new show meant to highlight local Korean culture. Titled Idol Festa Operation Nationwide Sparkle Tour, the show features top K-pop groups hosting guerrilla concerts while promoting local produce in a 1+1 deal format, combining music and community support. Fans could buy zucchini plus TXT concert tickets for just 9.90 Korean won, approximately $0.70. Some fun features I did at Forbes recently about song recommendations based on the Kpop Demon Hunter hits Golden and Your Idol. If you enjoyed this newsletter, please share it.